Hi YouTube, and this is JTrain997, and I'm back this time with my review of the DC Direct Brightest Day Series 1 Green Arrow figure. I was really excited to see we were getting a new figure of this version of Green Arrow, at least for his new look. I was kind of digging the Robin Hood vibe they were putting off in that book. But, of course, he comes with his bow, 2 arrows, which I believe can actually be posed like he's actually firing his bow, his quiver, which I don't think is removable, and his Brightest Day base. Of course, the standard packaging, got a nice little picture of Green Arrow down here. On the back of the packaging, you can see the other characters in the wave, himself, Deadman, Aquaman, and Hawkgirl. And his read-up says, exiled from the city he's sworn to protect, the Emerald Archer now resides in the mystical forest created by the White Lantern Ring at the heart of the Star City. Is he worthy of living in the sacred grove? What else dwells within? So, a very awesome looking figure. That being said, let's pull him out of the packaging. And here we have Green Arrow out of packaging. And as you can see, he can hold his bow like he's actually pulling an arrow back, but I don't think it works quite as well as they thought it would. It reminds me a lot of the Justice League Red Arrow, who could also do something a little like this. His extra arrow is in his quiver. As you can see, his hood just fell off. Hood is removable. It almost makes me wish it had been somehow permanently attached, because it is kind of difficult to pose his head without the hood looking like it's about to fall off or splayed out strangely. But to actually pull all this out of his hand, of course. The bow's very nice. It fits in his hand well. There is actual string. The arrows also have a lot of really nice detail on them. They're both exactly the same. So, putting him down, we'll actually pull his hood off his head here. Now, this is an absolutely beautiful sculpt of Green Arrow. I know before, I really like the Justice one they had released, but this one is just, it blows it out of the water. I love the new redesign. This figure is just a beautiful sculpt. The only small bit of quality control I even have to say about this figure, which we'll get to in a second, is there's a little bit of green paint under his arm. And that's the only spill at all. It's just very, very nice. Now, panning back out here. His arm, as you can see there, is where the green paint went. But just a tiny detail. Now, the articulation on this guy is fantastic. He does a full 360 at the head, some up and down. His arms go out, do a full 360, spin at the bicep, bend at the elbow, and spin at the wrist. No main abdomen articulation, and no waist joint. His legs go forward, bend at the knee, turn at the boot. So yeah, a lot of really nice articulation in this line. I'm surprised they've kind of nixed the waist joint and ankle joint, but even with that, it's still an amazing looking figure. The hood's a little irritating, but it's not a horrible accessory. And once again, I'm not crazy about the fact that he looks kind of awkward holding the bow, but he looks a lot better than some of the other figures, and they didn't just give us a bow and an arrow to hold. So the Brightest Day line is running you roughly about $17 at your local comic shop. Probably be a bit more offline. Got to really watch his hand when you put the bow in. It likes to close up. So, yeah, if you're a Green Arrow fan, you have to have this figure. A little difficult to get his bow in his hand. Now his thumb's wanting to curl up. Come on. Gotta finish the review here, buddy. There we go. Yeah, but, just probably my favorite sculpt of Green Arrow ever. I'll go ahead and say that. They've given us the ability to pull the bow back, even though it doesn't work as well as I would have liked it to. It still is there, so, you know, trying and missing is better than not trying at all. So let's actually get the string in there. And one of his arrows, which pry between those 2 fingers. And last but not least, we'll drop his other arrow back in his quiver. And yeah, close enough. You kind of have to fight the bow sometimes to get it into the pose you want, but you can do it. So that being said, if you're a Green Arrow fan, this figure is an absolute must-own in my book. Definitely pick him up now, because I can see this guy skyrocketing in price in the future. And that being said, this is JTrain997, and I'll see you soon, YouTube.